Welcome. First of all, welcome. This is Unsolicited Perspectives. I'm your host, Bruce Anthony, here to lead the conversation in important events and topics that are shaping today's society. Join the conversation and follow us wherever you get your audio podcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for our video podcasts and YouTube exclusive content. Rate, review, like, comment, share. Share with your friends, share with your family, hell, even share with your enemies. On today's episode, it's a Sibling Happy Hour. I'm here with my sis, Jay Andrea. We're going to be dilly-dadding a little bit, and then we're going to be talking about that orange man and some of the things he's got going on. And then we're going to be asking the question, what does it mean when men ask, what do you bring to the table? But that's enough of the intro. Let's get to the show. What up, sis?
What up, brother?
I can't call it, but I can call it.
Of course you can. Every week you can. I don't know why you even start with I can't call it when you can call it every week.
Because
that's a point of dilly-dallying.
Yeah, okay, because I can't call it in the macro, in the big scheme of things, but I can call it in little things.
Okay.
This is what I mean. iPhone notifications. They're a great thing, right?
Yeah.
Like they can notify you when you have reminders, alarms, somebody DMs you, what have you.
Yeah.
Mostly I use it for reminders.
Yeah.
More importantly, reminders for when I need to pay things because, the internet and my cell phone, I guess a cell phone is a fixed payment, but you never know. Certain things that aren't a utility bill, certain things that aren't like an automatic fixed payment.
Right.
I'm
like your internet bill. That's usually the same amount.
Sometimes, but certain organizations can just throw something on you because they gave you a triple play deal and it lasted for 6 months. And then that 7th month hit and you're like, why do I owe $15,000?
Well, you should have paid attention to that darn triple play deal and cancel before the payment starts. See that y'all got to know when to cancel.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm talking about, right?
Okay.
So this is the reason why I have a lot of reminders. And we know yesterday was the first of the month. So for the first of the month.
Wake up.
Right. Rent is due.
Yes.
Rent is due on the first of the month. And I have a reminder because these days for me, I'm getting older, all of them run together. I don't be knowing what the day's date is.
Yeah.
Here's the problem with my iPhone and the reminders. I kind of set it up where I kind of take care of all my bills at the first of the month, so I'm not tripping for the rest of the month.
Right.
The problem is all of my bills are due on the first of the month, and it's a notification. Yesterday it was notification. I'm like, you know what? All this money coming out of my account sucks.
Yeah.
I hate it here.
Yeah.
And I almost threw my iPhone when the iPhone was just doing what I told it to do.
Yeah. It's the thing of we used to not believe our parents when on payday they would say they ain't had no money. We used to not believe them, but the truth of the matter is on payday, you can look at that money in your account for a smooth 30 minutes and then it's going ping, 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 ping. Okay. And that's when that stuff coming out of the account. And it's affirmed. You got the payments come. You know my firm payments come at the wrong time. At the wrong time. You got $20 left. And next thing you know, $12.99 come out. And you be like, come on.
That's not $20 left with $12.99 coming out. My thing is not necessarily Affirm or any of those buy now, pay laters.
Yeah.
It's Apple Pay.
Yeah.
It's anything that I got signed up for with my Apple.
Yeah.
Because I just be like, oh yeah, I got money. And with my Apple account, so ladies and gentlemen, just, because I be moving money around. I got several checking accounts and savings accounts. Ain't like I, got a lot of money. It's just they're for different things for me.
Yeah.
My bills are all in one account. They all come out of one account. My playthings all come out of one account.
Yeah.
Different things that are kind of scattered payments come out of another account and I have them dispersed.
Yeah.
And at the, several times during the month, I move money around and make sure everything gets covered.
Yeah.
And I love my bank because my banking app would be like, hey, just to let you know, the money that you got in your account ain't going to cover some of these payments that you got scheduled. Oh,
right.
you need to move some money over.
Shout out to you, bank. Appreciate it.
Thank you, bank. I'm not going to say the bank because they ain't giving me no sponsorship, but thank you, bank.
Yeah.
But them Apple payments, man. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm all good. And then the Apple payments come out at different times.
Yeah.
Like you're like, okay, I covered all this. I'm not going, be in a negative balance in my
Yeah.
account. All the stuff is covered. And then the Apple Pay payment will come out at 10:59 p.m. and
Yeah.
you scrambling to just transfer
Yes.
money over so that you don't go in a negative balance. And I'm just like, Apple, have some consistency here. And also, I'm not keeping track. I don't really know if Apple is double booking, double charging me or nothing. Doesn't seem like there's any rhyme or reason for their payments.
I just wish they would send some sort of alert because
Right.
I usually have my subscription services coming out of my Apple account. So, I'm just chilling, thinking I
Mhm.
got a little money. Bam, my Crunchyroll account hits.
Crunchyroll, what is that?
It's a streaming service for anime.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
My
Okay.
my Crunchyroll account hit, and I'll be like, "There go my money," Netflix hits, boom, there go my money. It's gone. And I just wish Apple would be like, "Hey, just a heads up,
Right.
at 11:43 p.m. we gonna take $12.99 from you."
Right. It'd be $12.99, and then at 11:57,
Yeah,
it'd be $9.99, and then at
that's
12:05, it'd be $17.99. I'm like, just do it all at once. Give me an update.
thank you. Y'all can send me notifications for everything else. Send me notifications when you're about to take my money. That's all I'm asking for.
Look, and the pings on the iPhone for notifications when money's being taken out of account. That's the reason why I have my phone on silent.
Yeah,
Because yesterday it was ping, 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 ping. I'm like,
yeah.
what bills do I have where it's this many payments coming out on one day, and it's a lot of bills.
And
It's
the
a
thing
lot of
is,
bills.
you don't know until you're like, you know what? I'm gonna do a budget, which you never stick to, of course. But like, hey,
Right.
I'm gonna do a budget, and you list all your bills out on an Excel sheet, and you be like, I'm really paying more than I'm bringing in.
No, well, I don't have that problem, but that's a different. We'll tell a story about one time when I helped you with your budget on the after hours. That's an after hours story.
Okay.
But ladies and gentlemen, if y'all don't know about the after hours, I sent you this on our Patreon page. $5 a month after hours uncensored. It's a different show that me and my sister do where we're absolutely uncensored. And
Mhm.
we are going to tell that story at the time I sat down with my sister and helped her with her budget and just was like, it just shrugged my shoulders like, I don't know. Well, you'll find out that story on after hours. We got to remember to put that out there.
I'll
But
write it down. I'll write it
yeah,
down.
write that down because I'll forget because we're gonna
Yeah.
film in about an hour and a half, and I will absolutely forget that.
Yes.
But like, yeah, all this stuff is coming out, and I'm just like, where's my money going? And there
Yeah.
are different apps that you can use to go through that.
Mhm.
And to go to your budget question, yes, you could bring out that Excel, but and we never stick to it.
No.
We have a problem in our bloodline of not sticking to budgets. Okay. That's the reason why I have several checking accounts.
Yeah.
That is my budget.
Yeah.
That is it's like, okay, for my play money, I put money in that account at
Yeah.
the beginning of the month and I say, this is all I could play with.
Yeah.
Now, do I typically spend it up in the first weekend?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Because
Sometimes.
you go on Amazon and all the things you've been thinking about for the past month that you wanted to buy that you couldn't buy because you had to pay bills last month. And you pay it on the first, so you ain't got no money. So now you're like, I gotta go and get everything that's in that cart. And then you look up, you got the damn money left.
Somebody asked me the other day, that saved for later on Amazon is dangerous. And they were like, why
Yes.
don't you have a list? I was like, I do. I have a list and a save for later. And they said, well,
Yes.
how much is your save for later? And me and you share an account.
Yes.
And I went through the items, it can tell you how many items you have saved for later. And it's 252 items.
Yeah.
I said,
Get
it's
that list.
$2.5 million in this save for later.
Yeah. And I go through that and I delete some of the old stuff. Now I'm like, he's had this in the safe for later forever. He's not going to buy it. Or you've already bought some version of it and you never deleted this out the safe because that thing, I swear, has gotten up to like 1,000 items before.
No, it has not. It has. You exaggerate.
You
You
be
put 100.
saving stuff in that safe for later, and I go behind you and I delete it because I'm like, he already bought something like this. He don't need this. He don't need that.
Don't tell me what I need. I saved it for later. Look,
No.
I got that laptop
Yeah.
saved in there because I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
When I get it is the question. I don't know. but it's gonna happen before the end of the second quarter.
Okay.
For ladies and gentlemen, y'all don't know what the quarters is. There are quarters and there's economic quarters
Yeah,
in a year. The second quarter ends, believe at the end of June.
I think
Yes.
so. Yeah.
So before my birthday,
Mhm.
I'm gonna get that laptop because I gotta get it for work. And
Yeah.
what I mean by work is this,
This. Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
This is what I'm gonna do.
Well,
Now,
I'm happy that you're switching to a Mac.
I ain't got no choice.
Yeah,
I don't
because
have a choice.
it's just better than PC. And I don't care. I will fight anybody about it. I'll fight anybody about it.
I
It's better than
think
a PC.
yes, it is. And look, when I had two phones, I had an Android and an iPhone for the longest, and I used the iPhone for work and the Android for my personal phone.
Mhm,
It got to a point where I was like, this iPhone is just a lot easier
mhm.
and the functionality is a lot better. Now you can side load and do a lot of stuff with an Android phone that you can't do with an iPhone.
Right.
But as far as functionality is concerned, like I'm just gonna stick with the iPhone.
And I'm
And
not gonna lie, I've seen some Androids that are cool. I
mhm.
really want a flip phone again, and they've got the new flip. It's something about hanging up on somebody by snapping that clamshell shut that's just great. I wish iPhone would change up the style of their phone. Like they just give you the rectangle, like they just give you the little block. And I'm like, I wish they would change the style up a little bit and give us some options the way like Samsung does or something like
Yeah.
that. But other than that, as far as like usability and I'm just not gonna switch. I don't care. I know there's a lot of Android lovers out there and PC lovers, and I get it. I get it. But I ain't switching, and I'm sorry, and I'll fight you.
Right, and also Androids are cheaper. Like these
Yes.
iPhones, you got to sell crack cocaine. I
Yes.
almost turned into King Tut
Yeah.
doing a callback from my last show to
Yes.
sell crack cocaine. But before we end this dilly dallying, one of your good friends is in town, and you came
Yes.
in. You started the show saying, "Hey, look, I'm tired.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
tired. What have y'all been getting into?"
Literally just auntie things. So she not anything crazy, but it's just we're over 40 and it takes
Mhm.
a lot out of us. So we got some early dinner at one of my favorite Korean barbecue spots because it's all you can eat, even though I
Can't
can't
eat.
eat all I can
Right,
eat,
right.
but I still enjoy the experience anyway. And I had a delicious drink called a shamrock soju, and it was delicious. And it was in a little Capri Sun bag, and it was very dangerous. And I drank that, and then honestly, we came back and we watched. There's a very funny show, executive produced by Mindy Kaling on Netflix called Running Point, and it's like this faux NBA league. It's supposed to be the NBA in that universe, and it's a very funny show starring Kate Hudson. And we were watching that. I suggest people check it out. It's very funny. She runs basically an NBA team. She runs that like the LA NBA team, and
So she's
just
like Jenny Bus. Jeannie
I,
Buss is the one who runs the Los Angeles Lakers.
right. But it's like her family runs the team, so it's her and her three brothers.
So it's definitely like the Lakers then. She's
Okay.
Jeannie Buss. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, and her brothers are ridiculous, and it's very funny. It reminds me a lot of us, honestly,
Why does it remind you of us?
because it's like she's trying to get stuff done, and her brothers are ridiculous, and that
Wait a
reminds
minute,
of
hold on. I feel like me and our brother has been just taking a shot. How are we ridiculous? What are the parallels? You got to give me an analogy. What is the parallels?
I'll give you a great example.
Okay, please.
When I say we should have a sibling portrait, we haven't had one in forever, to
Okay.
give to our parents for
Yeah.
Christmas, and
Uh-huh.
I'm taking a self portrait, and y'all acting up the whole time.
How we acting up?
I just need y'all to be serious and give a nice smile and take a pleasant photo. And that took way longer than
What
it needed to take.
hold on, hold on. I don't know how to smile. Okay, so that's the problem. And what did our brother do? Our brother wasn't doing anything. Also, you wanted to take this portrait, and I was all the way in the back because I had been
Yeah.
drinking all day.
Yeah.
The portrait looks great.
It does look great. I actually have a copy hanging up in my home. So it does look great. We, of course, because we look great, but, just quick plug. But yeah, it just hanging out and chilling. I tried to warn her about how my couch is dangerous. It's
What you mean?
My couch is very dangerous in that it's extremely comfortable and you
It is that.
will fall asleep on it. Like
I
you
have
would
never fallen asleep on it.
but it's extremely comfortable. It's hard to get up off of. So we really didn't get up until about 4:30 this morning. And then we went to bed about 4:30 this morning. And so I'm a little tired. I tried to put a little higher what is it? A little hyaluronic acid on my face to try to plump it up a little bit so I don't look so bad. So I just apologize to anybody watching the YouTube. My bad. I look hungover. It's because I am.
Well, I mean, look, typically you hold it down, and I'm the one looking haggard. I'm probably looking haggard again because I don't sleep at all. So we
Yeah.
both went here because we use a schedule on Thursday nights.
Yes.
We used to record on Thursday nights, so we would have life in us. Now
Yes.
we're recording on Sunday morning / afternoon,
Yeah.
where there's no life in us.
None. None. Because this is like this is the week has caught up to me on Sundays. Like
Mhm.
all of the stress and everything of the week catches up to me on Sunday. So then I wake up on Sunday beat down. And then you're like, hey, come shoot a show for a long time and be engaging and funny. And I'm just like, okay, let's do this.
You ain't the only one. Like, you ain't we both on here, but people still like the show, so we doing all
Hey,
right.
as long as people still like it, I will still do it.
Yeah,
Haggard and all.
All right. Well, speaking of things that people like and don't like,
Mm,
we gonna get into what the orange man in the Oval Office has been doing this week. Look, my man has been on one, and we
yeah.
gonna get into that next. All right, Jay. There was a really contentious meeting in the Oval Office the other day between the president of Ukraine, Zelensky, and the president of the United States and the vice president of the United States. So Trump and Vance criticized Zelensky in the Oval Office for Ukraine's war strategy, perceived disrespect, and reluctance to pursue peace. Trump issued an ultimatum, basically a make it or we're out type deal, and accused Zelensky of risking World War III. Now, I'll get into more details about the meeting and the more and the response from the meeting, not only here in America, but also globally. But when you saw clips or if you watched it live, what was going through your head when you were seeing this?
I'm gonna be real honest, and it's that Zelensky can fight. And I feel like it was real bold because not only that, but Zelensky always looks like he's always dressed like he could fight you at any moment. Like he's dressed like fighters dress when they go to the press conferences or they do the weigh-in and they do the press conference before the fight. And I'm just like, that's real bold.
Well, you know the reason why he wears that. That's in unity for the soldiers
Yes. No, I
and the
get
people
it.
that's fighting. So and Margie Taylor's Green's boyfriend, a little, not a journalist, but he works for a news organization. It was like, why don't you ever wear a suit? And I'm like, you know what? Why is he being allowed to ask questions when the Associated Press have been kicked out of the Oval Office? But
Yeah.
let
Yeah.
me let you keep going.
I just, it sent a clear signal to all of our allies that we ain't worth a damn. Honestly, I mean, it did. And it's just, I was like, okay, y'all, Zelensky's leaning forward on that seat. Okay. Don't, that man can fight. Don't play Vladimir like that. Okay. Y'all are really, and also I didn't know why the hell Vance was in there. I don't know why he's ever anywhere. And I just feel like it made us look horrible. It made us look horrible. And it it it's going to be par for the course. Like if y'all think this is not I mean think about Trump's first term and the feathers he ruffled with our allies abroad then it's just going to get worse until we don't have any allies left, or the allies that we do have are not the ones that we want, but it's the ones that he wants, right? Like we're switching teams from the team we had at World War II. And it's not great. That team lost.
Okay, I'm gonna correct you. Russia was on our side in World War II. The Cold War started afterwards when it was a fight against superpowers. It's just the historian in me. We got to get that correct. They were our ally in World War II.
Baby, you know I don't know nothing about no damn history.
That's the reason why I'm here to correct you.
That's the best I had. I knew there was Axis powers. If you ask me who
Allied and Axis, yes.
Yes. Okay. If you didn't say that just now, I would have said we were the Axis. I just knew there were Axis powers. I didn't know what the other side was, and I didn't know which one was which.
Okay. So just to be clear, Russia at first during World War II was not a direct enemy of ours because we hadn't entered the world yet, but was an ally of Nazi Germany and Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler invaded Russia, and Russia switched sides. So Russia, Great Britain, and U.S. were the main people that were going after basically the Nazis, and Italy. Italy was on the Nazi side, and so they were an ally of ours. And then after that, two countries emerged as a superpower: us and the old USSR, right? Soviet Union. And then that's when the Cold War started, and I'm giving everybody a brief history lesson. That's when we had the issues that's going on in Korea. Right now, that's the reason why there's a North and South Korea.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Central and South America, so many countries have been destabilized because there was so much influence from both Russia, who has strong ties in a lot of countries, and U.S. Funding guerrillas. That's where you got the Iran-Contra affair. So yes, at first they were an ally, then they weren't an ally. Then there were agreements, and then we were allies again. But Bill Clinton, Ronald Reagan dubbed Herbert Walker and Bill Clinton, ended the Cold War, and we became partners again. And then, Putin gets in office. It probably happened before Putin, but Putin gets in office, and then they become an adversary again. But you're right.
Yeah.
During this meeting, it became clear that Trump is kind of almost, he's pro-Putin, whether he wants to come out and say it. He's pro-Putin and anti-Ukraine.
Yes.
And Vance shouldn't have been there. I'm surprised Elon Musk wasn't there. Elon Musk was in the cabinet meeting, Trump's first cabinet meeting this week. But Vance was there to just kind of like back up the president. He's the one who really escalated the conversation. Look,
because he doesn't know what he's talking about.
He doesn't know what he's talking about, or he thinks he knows what he's talking about and he doesn't. And he said that, basically, why haven't you thanked us? And Zelensky was like, what are you talking about? It's been numerous times where every time I come here and speak, I thank you. He was like, I spoke before Congress and thanked everybody. What are you talking about?
Right.
And then Trump doubled down. Yeah, you really haven't shown you're appreciative. Y'all just got in office a month ago, right? Like I was supposed to call y'all and tell y'all thank you when you are actively trying to cut aid and cut out my legs out from under me. I have thanked America. They had thanked America. But this was all a big shit show.
Yeah.
It really was.
It really was.
And the response that Republicans are having back in Trump and saying that was strength. Ladies and gentlemen out there, let me tell you one thing that you may not know. And this is something that you can learn if you're ever in the street or just on the playground in elementary school, right? This is something that you need to learn in life. The loudest are always the weakest. The bullies, sometimes the bullies can fight, but the bullies are typically the weakest mentally and emotionally.
Yes.
The loudest are always the weakest mentally and emotionally. That's not strength. That's not strength. So what y'all think y'all saw from Trump was not strength. It was a punk ass dude once again showing that he lacks any type of character.
Yeah. And not only that, Trump and Vance clearly showed that they don't know the history of Russia and Ukraine's relationship. They clearly don't understand the current context or the war that's going on. There was one comment where Trump told Zelensky, "You don't have the cards," and Zelensky replied, "I'm not playing cards." Like this is he's approaching this like it's a simple. Trump is approaching this like it's some sort of just business deal, and Zelensky is like, "I am running a country at war. This is not just some business deal. U.S. allyship is essential, and y'all don't know what you got." I mean, it was clearly not an ambush, but I
No,
don't
no,
think I don't think I mean, it kind of was an ambush, but I
yeah, that
don't
was
think it was a meeting that should have happened. I definitely don't think it was a meeting that should have happened in front of cameras.
they
Um,
typically don't. This was all a setup.
it was definitely a setup, and I don't know if I have this 100% right, but I believe Trump has already talked to Putin several times. So like it was a setup. I feel like it was a setup to try to make Zelensky look weak. It didn't. It made us look weak, and it made us look bad for our allies. And I think Zelensky then went to the UK and got a much different reception. Um, and so, yeah, I think there was also like earlier this month, I'm reading in Axios that Trump had denounced Zelensky as an unpopular dictator and
Mhm.
falsely blamed him for starting the war. But he softened his tone ahead of the meeting. But you still said like the meeting was a stunt. I don't think it went the way he was hoping that it would go. I don't know why Vance should just never be in the room. That man doesn't know anything.
He is vice
Um,
president.
he shouldn't be in the room.
He's vice president. Typically, vice presidents are in the room.
Are they?
Yes, yes.
I don't know. I feel like I didn't never really see
Well, you don't normally see these meetings because they're not done in front of cameras.
exactly. The whole thing is a stunt. The whole thing, everything, the entire administration, all of it. And I was having a conversation with someone, and I just really want to get out there, and I really need people to understand that these are are standard destabilization tactics. This is what's going on in our government right now.
Mhm.
And I just really need people to understand that. If you don't understand that, a good movie to watch is Black Panther 1. And because Killmonger goes over this. This is what America does. Like this is what we do. So we know how to destabilize a government. That's what's going on right now. And this is really, really dangerous. And I really like I'm smiling because I'm insane right now because I don't understand how people don't get this. But it was in your words, it was a shit show. And the whole reason that they were there was to sign that minerals deal, which didn't happen. And whether it's gonna happen, we don't know. And it's it I think Trump honestly thinks a little more highly of the U.S. than he really should. Like, I
We are
I
the superpower.
I get that, but you don't. This is just bad business. If you're
It
running,
is.
okay, if America is a business, which it is, right, and you're running it like a business, this is bad business. You can't make deals as an isolationist.
Mm.
You can't. Sorry for. I know our language has been we've said the S word twice, but I'm gonna say
Worse.
it. Yeah, I'm say it again. You can't shit on your allies and think you can make deals. Like you can't. You especially make deals with people who are not our allies. And why would you think that you could trust them? And like, it's just bad business. But we already know he's a bad businessman. And so the fact that y'all voted for him, yeah, because you hate women and black people and black women so much is just astounding to me. And I will never not be shocked. I know I shouldn't be shocked, but I'll never not be shocked by what's going on.
Yeah. Well, there's more to this meeting. There was Trump attacked Zelensky, saying that he's not for peace negotiations. Trump asserted that Zelensky saw the U.S. involvement as leverage to avoid concessions, calling him unprepared for peace. He demanded Ukraine either negotiate a deal, implying concessions to Russia, or lose U.S. support, citing Zelensky's hatred of Putin as a barrier. And I would understand why Zelensky would hate Putin. Putin invaded Ukraine. I think
Yes.
that Trump either he doesn't realize or doesn't care, or he's in the pocket that
I
Putin
think it's
invaded
all
this country.
I think it's all of the above.
Okay, maybe. And the whole gambling with World War III. No, we are gambling with World War III by the
Yeah.
way that we're acting and siding with dictators and fascist regimes. That we are. Our actions are dictating it. And you're right. Zelensky, the meeting was canceled for them to sign the minerals deal. The
Mhm.
White House the administration basically kicked them out of the White House, said, we're not going to do this meeting now because you disrespected the Oval Office, which, by the way, it was Vance and Trump who disrespected the Oval Office.
They disrespect it by being there.
Well, there's that, but it's the question of, hey, you're not your cards, and you're not trying to make deals. And Zelensky has said Putin has made deals before and broken them. Why would we think that he wouldn't break a deal now? Well, I have a good relationship with Putin. No, what you have is Putin is actually highly intelligent,
Yes.
highly strategic, and he's going to outsmart you.
Yeah, you don't stay in power as long as he has without knowing what you're doing.
Right. I mean, despicable man, but he knows what he's doing. So, yeah, no, what was the fallout? Basically, Republicans saying it was a good thing, all Democrats saying it was a bad thing. And then you got to take a global view. And other countries are just like, US, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Because Zelensky's been welcomed in other countries, and then what is it, Norway? I think Norway decided to give 3.8 billion in aid to Ukraine
And
just this week.
they cut off fueling our fleets.
Yes. So we're not only are our actions affecting Ukraine, our actions are affecting the allies of both us and Ukraine.
Yeah.
And the people over there are saying, oh, okay, US, you want to be isolationist? We're gonna make you isolationist. And the reason why we decide to do that is because the only countries that we have bordering us are Canada and Mexico. And let's be honest, even if they join forces, they wouldn't beat us in a war. So
No.
we think that we're all powerful and we're separated by an ocean between all those other countries. But just to point it out, history has said those countries will bring the fight to us. They have done it before. And just because we haven't had a war on this land since the late 1800s does not mean that a war cannot be brought to this land.
Right.
And the last thing that we want to do is antagonize the European countries as well as antagonize Mexico and Canada, because that's what this administration is doing right now.
Yeah.
So open up your eyes. This is not strength. If one group of people is saying we're winning and everybody else is saying you're losing, you might want to take a look in the mirror and say, you know what? We're losing.
Yeah.
But that's not the only thing that this administration is doing. So
Oh,
the
God.
administration sent out to employees of the Department of Education an opportunity to take a buyout to resign or retire of $25,000. They had to make the decision by Monday, which is tomorrow, March the 3rd,
Mhm.
by 1:59 p.m., and they had to retire by 31st. The letter, I'm paraphrasing here, the letter was like, look, we're going to offer y'all this 25,000 to quit because we're about to make cuts. It's another threat that this administration has been doing. And I want to let everybody know out there, yes, they are gutting the federal workforce.
Mhm.
What they are doing, though, when you hear all these people that are being fired, either they're cutting programs that have funding like USAID, right?
Yes.
And a lot of people being let go
Yes.
who are regular federal employees, but they're just cutting the programs and then those people are being sent packing. Or they're firing probationary federal workers. Now, you might start a job and you might say you have 60 days and 90 days where you're probation. That's not the case for the federal government. It can go from 1 to 3 years. So there are some people that have been working for the federal government for 2.5 years. They're about to end their probationary period, which, okay, that's what the federal government does. But those people can be terminated immediately for no cause. And that's what they're doing. They're terminating a lot of those people. But if you are a non-probationary federal employee, it is very difficult to fire you, especially if you are signed up for one of the unions.
Yeah.
But they're trying to say these are scare tactics. We're gonna fire you. I have a friend that works for the patent office. They got the same type of letter. They're union. They're union. So they're like, you can't fire us. It's been negotiated. You can't fire us. So these scare tactics are being brought out, and the main reason that they're being brought out is because of the moms of liberty. I'll get into that in a minute because we've talked about that before. But what do you think about these type of buyout deals to try and get people to go? And even the people that are working there might not realize, hey, unless you're a probationary federal worker, you're not going to be fired.
Yeah, I don't think they should take or sign or anything. I don't think I mean, it's very tough because you're talking about people's lives, their livelihood. People have families to support and things like that. And I understand that it might be attractive to just go ahead and take whatever they give you, and it's because instead of living your life in limbo. But I think this is constantly being battled out in the courts. It's going back and forth and back and forth. I know that, you know, when they get shot down in federal court, they just go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court says, yeah, you can do whatever you want. I know that that's happening, but this is a constant fight that's going on back and forth. I mean, I don't have good advice. I personally, but I don't have a family to support, right? So I personally wouldn't sign anything, wouldn't take anything from them until, this all plays out in the courts. But I understand people have to look out for themselves. I know that Maryland's governor is looking to hire displaced federal workers in state and local government positions, so and contract workers and stuff like that. He's trying to start an initiative to do that. So there are, people that have your back, but there's really no good way out of this. I mean, there's really no. Everybody has to just take it on its own merits. You got to do what's best for you and your family. I understand that, but I think it's a bad idea to take anything, to sign anything, or to take anything from this administration.
Yeah, you can't trust this administration. So why is all this happening? Well, Linda McMahon is going to be, if she's not already confirmed, the Secretary of Education. Who is Linda McMahon? Linda McMahon is the wife of Vince McMahon. They used to own the World Wrestling Federation or the World Wrestling Entertainment. She was the head of Small Business Administration in the last administration. So they're going to gut the Department of Education.
Yeah.
And it's all coming from the Moms of Liberty or the Daughters of Confederacy. Look it up, ladies and gentlemen. I've already gone through the history. They're the same organization, just with a new name. And the Moms of Liberty are determined to get rid of DEI programs because they call it reverse racism, basically saying kids shouldn't feel sorry about themselves.
The question is, why can't kids align themselves with abolitionists? Why, there were white abolitionists, so why can't they be, fans of what's my man? He was president, James Madison.
Maybe. I don't know. My history of presidents ain't as vast.
It was played by my mans. He had a whole
okay,
HBO.
we're really doing a black conversation right now. You know who that dude was that played on that show that one time? He was in the other show with that lady that was on the thing with their dude, the little kid. You know what I'm talking about? We're not about to do that.
I cannot remember, and I'm bad at history, so I really don't know. But again, the question is, why do kids have to align with slave owners? They can always just align with abolitionists. So the argument is stupid, but go ahead.
Well, No, the argument is it's not the kids, it's the parents.
It's the parents,
It's the
right?
parents.
Because the parents know what side of that line that they're on,
Right,
and
exactly,
and they
because
don't wanna be made to feel bad about it.
right, because they were probably, either their parents or their grandparents were part of those people that were out there protesting, the ending of segregation and the, integration of schools and all that stuff. So they're like, "Well, that was your grandpa. Your grandpa was a good person." Nah, okay.
No.
So there's that, and so what the Moms of Liberty and the Department of Education has done is created this website where now people can report school districts, schools, what have you, for DEI violations.
Mhm.
So what they are going to let me explain what they're going to do. They're going to rewrite history. When they talk about critical race theory is not being taught in any secondary education program.
No.
Definitely not in elementary schools, right?
No.
It's too much of a complicated issue. What
Yeah.
they're talking about is history. History of slavery, history of segregation. They don't want anybody to know about that. They're trying to wash over it, whitewash it,
Yes.
wash
Yes.
over and not be recognized. That's the reason why they want to get rid of Black History Month, DEI programs. They want to get rid of everything. They want to make America solely white again.
Yes.
Solely white again. And I'm not attacking white people as a whole. I'm attacking specific white people that don't combat against something like this.
Yeah.
Okay. And what you're doing is you're taking pride in the history of the country without also recognizing the country has also been effed up.
Yeah.
It's like looking at your parent. You love your parent, but your parent isn't perfect. You can look at your parent and say, "Look, I love my parent. They're not perfect, but I still love them." You can still love your country and acknowledge the fact that the country has done some effed up stuff,
Yeah.
really bad, and that's the reason why you're in the position that you're in. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day. I was just talking about privilege. I was talking about privilege of just genetics, right? Like some people genetically are tall, some
Yeah.
people are short.
Yeah.
This person, white male, immediately their lower lip curled up. And they were like, well, some people with privilege, they, even still somebody had to sacrifice for that privilege. I said, what the hell are you talking about? We are talking about genetics.
Yeah.
We're talking about the fact that I'm 6'4", and that just came from my parents. I can't help the fact that I'm 6'4". There was no sacrifice there.
No.
No, what you're trying to talk to, because privilege means to you that somehow you only got to the position that you got to because of privilege. And that is true and not true at the same time.
Yeah.
It's true that you got the opportunities. You had to work to get there sometimes. I said for this person individually, you had to work to get there.
Yeah.
Acknowledge that.
But you
But
had
also,
access.
exactly. That doesn't mean that you didn't work hard to get there. But the fact that the door was wide open for you where other people don't even know where the door is the point.
Yeah.
That's the point that we're trying to make here. And you're like, well, Dave, I still worked hard. Yes, nobody's saying that you
Nobody
didn't
is
work hard.
discounting that.
But
But
why are you taking offense to it? It's like that person that could dish it out. That's what it is.
Mhm.
People that could dish it out but can't take it.
I saw a really great meme, and it was about people who are wishing that they could change their vote, right?
Mhm,
From Trump to the better candidate.
mhm,
Um, and they said, in effect, they want to change their vote because how they're being treated the way they hoped other people would be treated by the way that they voted.
mhm,
You were hoping that other people would be in the position that you're in right now. You were hoping other people would lose benefits and access. But what's really happening is you've lost Medicaid. You're losing Medicaid. You're losing your SNAP benefits, right? Like that's coming. The House has already passed a measure. It's going to this, that's coming. All of those social programs and safety nets that you do use, because what the problem is he's got you believing that your oppressor is actually the one that you should be supporting, but really you're voting against yourself. So everything that all those social programs and safety nets and all the things that you rely on, including the Affordable Care Act, it's being gutted now. Now you're losing your job. Now the people are losing their jobs. And you thought you weren't going to be affected. You thought that these changes weren't going to be for you. But now that they're coming for you because they ultimately do not care about you, what they care about is money and the consolidation of power. But now that they're coming for you, now you want to change your vote. No, they told you who they were and you didn't believe them. Or you let your own prejudice blind you to the fact that they are coming in here to steal resources. How could anybody be against diversity, equity, and inclusion? You don't like the diversity part. You're fine with the equity. You don't like the diversity part. You don't like the inclusion part. You don't want other people included in what's your idea of what America should be. And the idea that America should be for you, that's your idea. And diversity, equity, and inclusion, actually, yeah, you're against all parts of that. You're against all parts. You don't want equity for anybody either. Because again, and I've said this before, you think of America as a zero-sum game where there's a limited slices of pie. And if you're giving people access to that pie, you're going to lose out on your slice. But that's not what the data shows. That's not what the statistics show. The statistics and the data show that the more that we include diverse thought, the more that we give people who wouldn't have had access, the more that we include them in the narrative, the more business flourishes, innovation flourishes, creativity flourishes, the more this country flourishes. Why? Because we open our doors to people immigrating from other places seeking a better life, and they come here and they add to the fabric of this country and they continue to build this country. You can't just erase the fact that you built this country on the bodies of Black people on stolen land.
Native Americans as well, or indigenous folks as well.
Yeah, on stolen land. You built this country on stolen land by stolen people. And this is just a reality that you are going to have to reckon with. And that this country, every single institution in this country was built and sustained by keeping certain people out. And honestly, I am honestly conflicted about what's happening in the government right now, because I've always been of the mind that because racism and sexism are so ingrained in all of our institutions that the only way to get true equity in this country is to dismantle them. So watching this administration dismantle these institutions, I have a conflicted feeling about it. But I think that people, I honestly, I know to a certain extent I'm preaching to the choir, because anybody who's watching our show probably is aligned with our ideals. But this is not about conservatism. This is not about being Republican. This is not about being a part of the Christian right. This is not about any of that. It is strictly about maintaining white supremacy in this country. And if you can't recognize that that's what this all boils down to, and now you want to change your vote, but if you can't recognize that this is what it all boils down to, I really don't know what to tell you. And a lot of the people that support this administration are fine with the fact, or want white supremacy to be the law of the land. That's where we are right now. And this is not going to get better. It's going to get progressively worse, because they don't have a plan for after they destroy everything. There's no plan. They just want to get in there and gut everything. You think Project 2025 is the plan. Okay. And another thing, I know I'm going long and I'm sorry about that, but I'm very, very passionate about this. I know we got another segment. I'm going long, but I'm sorry about that. For all of the people who are talking about just hold on to the midterms, you think there's going to be midterm elections?
Yes, there will be midterm elections.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think in 2 years of where this is going, this is the first month. We're the first month of this presidency. You think 2 years from now, there's going to be midterm elections. You think he's going to do anything that he's supposed to do when this man got on the White House Instagram. I still can't get over this, and said, "Long live the king." You think that after the first month, that in 2 years, the people, remember, he has the House and the Senate. If he does something, you think they're going to willingly say, no, we should have those elections and let the people decide? You think the people that's in there are going to say that? That
if you let me answer the question, yes, yes.
Because I think I need you to think deeply and critically about this.
I think I want to end this segment because it is going really long.
I'm sorry, but I'm just very passionate about this because.
Yes, I think you're being hyperbolic, not in the stance of what's going on, but in the stance of where we're going. Look, there's one thing I will say about this country is that opposition will always fight. And there's ebbs and there's flows throughout the history of this country. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some, but the fight is going to always be there.
Yeah.
So when one side wins, the other side gathers themselves together and fights even harder.
I don't think the Democrats are strong enough.
It's not solely about the Democrats. They're alienating some of the people in their own base. So you got to look at that. That's what happens to fake empires, right? Like you alienate the people that once revered you. So you just have to look at that and landscape. And yes, there will be elections in 2 years.
Okay.
Otherwise, there will be, look, they don't want that fight. I've said it before, they don't want that fight. But this segment has lasted too long.
I'm sorry.
I know, this segment has lasted too long. It's been too serious. And I want to get to some jokes. I want to smile and stop crying. I want to smile and stop crying. So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get some jokes. And the jokes is coming up next. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's I don't know how this segment is gonna go because the behind the scenes, me and my sister was just going at it right now.
Not in a bad way, not in a bad way, y'all.
Not in a bad way.
But we were, yeah, because
I might
clip now.
Yeah, I might clip what we just did behind the scenes and put that on the end of the after hours uncensored because we was going at it. But and we about to go at it again.
Yeah,
we're about to go at it again.
Probably.
Because Jay, you sent me a reel.
Yes.
And it was about what does it mean when a man asks, what are you bringing to the table?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, I kind of agree with what this guy's saying, but also I don't agree completely with what this guy's saying. It's a little bit more nuanced. So basically, can you tell the audience, since you sent it to me, can you tell the audience what the basic reel was, the premise of the reel was?
Yeah, so it's this guy, I can't remember his name. I'm so sorry to this man. But he basically seems like a rich finance bro is what he seems like, right? But anyway, he gives advice to women, dating advice. And his thing was, if a man asks you what you bring to the table, it's because he has a low credit score. And he wants you to co-sign for that Dodge Challenger. And don't do it. And I'm like, that is accurate. Now, you said it's much more nuanced than that. I don't agree, but you tell me.
Okay, so I can only go from what I say and what other men that I know, like I know a couple of men out there that are like on my social economic level, around like we're in the same ballpark. So we ain't getting money, but you know,
y'all doing all right.
We doing all right. We ain't broke.
Right.
But we ain't rich either. Right. And it's like when we talk about what a woman brings to the table, when we ask that question, it's like, yo, are you healed?
Yeah.
How much trauma do you have? Are you doing something to fix that trauma? Like that's what I'm talking, me personally, and a lot of men that I know, that's what I'm talking about when I say, what do you bring to the table? Also, yes, there are finances. Like, is everything on me? Do I have to pay for everything? What do you think about splitting? Or what is your definition of equality in a relationship?
Right.
Like, there have been some women that I dated that have not opened, they haven't even pumped fake when we go out. And I'm like, I'm not messing with you anymore because you're going to expect me to pay all the time and I'm not funding your fun.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm going to do.
Right.
But I'm also the person that's just like, yo, the first couple of dates, the first couple, that's on me because my grandmother and my mother raised me to be a gentleman. It's old school. Some men out here don't agree with it to say, why do you do that? That's just, hey, look, if I ask a woman out, I'm paying. After the first couple of dates, it's like whoever asks whoever out.
Yeah.
Or we go Dutch, right? Because then we're dating. But no, I do know there are some men out there who are shady and just like, trying to leech off women. And that is true. But this is where I said it was nuanced because I'm not one of them dudes.
Yeah.
So when I ask, it's like, yo, are you healed?
Yeah.
Or are you attempting to heal yourself?
Yeah. I hear you.
Are you hearing me or are you listening?
No, I hear you. And you're talking about men who have done some work and are hoping to be in a relationship with a woman who's also done that emotional work, right? Okay, that's not a majority of men. A majority of men is out here. I'm gonna tell you this as a woman. You can tell me your perspective as a man in America. I'm telling you from the other side of the table. Okay? A lot of these guys out here, when they talk about what you bring to the table, they're wondering, do they need to worry about your bag or are you gonna be worried about theirs? And it's just that simple. And I'm sorry, that man is right because there's a lot of dudes out here that want to borrow your car. Can I hold your debit card? Can you co-sign for this? I'll make the payments. Don't worry about it. Baby, ladies, please don't fall into that trap. Ladies and men, please don't fall into that trap.
Hold on now. Isn't that your dating pool? Like everything is built in from our perspective, right? So if my social circle, as far as men are concerned, are like, and I guess that wouldn't be my social circle with men who really ain't about there doing anything or leeching off of women because I don't respect leeching off of anybody.
Right.
So like, I mean, I kind of get that person wouldn't be in my social circle.
Yeah.
So from my perspective, I don't see that. But from a woman's perspective, and they're saying that this is the men that they're dealing with or that they see, and they're saying, no, the majority of the men. I'm like, no, that's the majority of the men that you're dealing with. Because I have a whole segment over here that's not like that. You're just not dealing with that. Maybe the women is the issue. Maybe
Like,
that,
you know how you
sometimes you gotta
sound?
look at
You know how you sound?
I sound like I'm in the manosphere.
No, I'm gonna tell you how you sound. When a black person tells a white person, I'm not going over this place because they're racist over there, and the white person tells them, I've never experienced that. You wouldn't. You wouldn't.
That's a good. Hey, look,
I'm telling you this as a woman having female friends, straight female friends, having gay male friends. Okay, I'm telling you this as a woman. That is a lot of men out here terrorizing women. A lot of women are out here terrorizing men. I'm not gonna lie. If we're talking about heterosexual relationships and stuff like that, I'm just gonna generalize with heterosexual relationships, y'all. I'm not trying to leave nobody out, but a lot of women out here terrorizing men that are not healed. So it's like it's a majority of people is out here terrorizing people because nobody's healed.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's just the reality. I understand that there are healed people out here trying to healing people out here because I don't ever feel like I feel like healing is a journey. It's not a destination. So there are people out here that are healing and want a partner who is also in that same space because it can be a burden to take on a partner who's not there and you're starting to carry now all that emotional labor and all the emotional weight of the relationship and people don't want that. I get that. But when you sit down, because I'm telling y'all, I was on Hinge for 36 hours. I saw y'all. And now I'm, of course, as a black woman, I'm going to attract a certain type of man, right? I'm light skinned. I have light eyes. I'm going to attract a certain kind of black man in particular who's not really all that interested in me, but really more interested in my physical attributes.
Okay, so that's most men are attracted to physical attributes.
No, like, specifically
Okay,
light
yeah,
skin type of so I
yeah.
know I'm gonna have a
Yellow
certain
bones.
yes, I'm gonna have a certain experience, right? Specifically with black men, I'm gonna have a certain experience. So the men that ended up liking my posts and stuff or liking my I don't even remember how the Hinge worked or whatever dating site I was on, honestly, I don't even remember.
It
But,
was
like,
Hinge.
it was? Okay.
Mm.
And I got extremely overwhelmed. I'm telling you, their pages were these very incel manosphere things. And honestly, it's not just them. There's a lot of incel women out here too. I've seen their pages. And it's not great. And I'm like, girlfriend, I see why you're single. You're very beautiful, but I see why you're single. And these men out here, yeah, you fine, but I see why you're on this dating app. And I don't think that this is the space for me because I'm actually healing. And so I don't think that this is really the place for me. Honestly, I wish there was a dating app where you had to be healed in order to sign up for it. Like
Oh,
or
healing.
healing. Like you're on that journey. Like
Like
you have to have a letter from your therapist.
like BetterHelp should do an off-school dating site. That's
Thank you.
actually a genius idea.
Better dating.
That that's actually genius. BetterHelp. We put that out there first. So if
Yes.
we find something out there that's called Better Date, we want our cut because
We
that
want
is
our
a
cut.
genius. That's a genius
This is
idea,
this is
actually.
timestamped. Like
Yes.
your therapist has to sign off on the fact, yes, this person is on their healing journey and won't be out here terrorizing folks. Like that's you know what I'm saying? Like it's gotta be a better way. But I'm telling you, when they're asking that they're trying to determine whether or not you're a gold digger, but the thing of it is they ain't got no gold to dig.
Okay, so I believe that because I'm also trying to determine if somebody is a gold digger. Technically, I've dated a few women that make more money than me, but like more money to me is like just a little bit more money to me.
Mhm.
There was one woman I dated that made hmm, double, maybe even triple,
Yeah.
and I found myself, I think I'm pretty evolved, but there were some times I was just like, I don't like you paying for this, so I'm gonna pay for it because there's that
Yeah.
patriarchy still is kind of like in
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And she was like, I can pay for it. And she never threw it in my face that she made more money than I did. Never.
No, no,
But
because
I
it's a
was
fine line
keenly
to walk.
aware. But I was keenly aware. And then I got mad when she got me a gift, and I was just like, I thought it'd be better than this. I thought the gift would be better than this. I mean, you make a lot of money. I thought the gift would be better than this.
Instead of it being expensive, it was more thoughtful. Is that it?
It was extremely thoughtful. I
Yeah.
wanted to be extremely thoughtful, and it was a tier below what I was expecting. That's
Mm,
that's all.
mm, mm,
So
mm.
maybe I'm one of them dudes with the high class women, but also bring something to the table.
Yeah.
But I get you right. You're right. When you use that analogy of, a white person, a black person talking, a black person saying, I don't want to go to that neighborhood, they're racist. And then the white person saying, well, I've never experienced. You're absolutely right. As a man, I don't know what it's like to date other men because I'm not gay. I'm heterosexual. So I only date women.
Yeah.
So it is wrong for me to have a strong opinion. I
Yeah.
can have an opinion,
Yeah.
but a strong opinion that I feel like I can defend when really I'm not even in that world.
Yeah.
So yeah, you was right when you said what you said. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of them times where I admit I was wrong. I
Yeah.
still stand by the fact it's not we can't
No,
generalize.
I think you can generalize, but also, I think you can generalize, but still also hold the belief and understand that not every man that's asking that question is asking it to see whether or not they can get into your bag, right? Like not every man is asking that because it's true that if you decide to be together and get married, you're merging your finances. It's a question to ask. If there's a real question to ask, but it's like, are you asking it in good faith? Is the
Right.
question. And what the guy was saying in the reel is that a lot of men are not asking it in good faith. I feel like you can expand that and say a lot of women aren't asking that in good faith either. A lot of women are asking, and I hate to say this because I really, really don't want some manosphere guy to chop up the sound bite and use it as evidence, because that literally will tear out a piece of my soul. But you have women that are out there that are like, what can this man offer me financially? But the thing is, it's nothing wrong with that. If you want to be a trad wife, okay, find a man that wants that. That's like, I'm fine handling the household, finances, if you take care of the household and the children. There are those relationships. Okay, that's fine. Stay in your lane, though. Stop being out here terrorizing other people. Stay in your lane. So I do think that question is important. Ask it in good faith, of trying to see, am I compatible with this person, as opposed to seeing what you can get out of this person. And a lot of the time, people are asking that question to see what they can get out of the other person.
Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, this show is running long because my sister dominated the last segment towards the end.
Yeah. And I'm not even going to fake. I said it while I was saying it. I was like, I know this is running long. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did say that.
Yeah, I said it while I was. Yeah, I knew what I was doing. But you know what? You shouldn't have got me riled up.
All I did was pick a topic. That's all I did.
And sometimes your topics rile me up.
That's what great producers do. Hey, look, I'm going to tell y'all, ladies and gentlemen, I might not be that great of a host. I think I'm better than most. But what I am is a good damn producer, because I'm going to come up with some stuff to talk about. That's for damn sure. That's for damn sure. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for watching. And until next time, as always, I'll holla. Whew. That was a hell of a show. Thank you for rocking with us here on Unsolicited Perspectives with Bruce Anthony. Now, before you go, don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, comment, and share our podcast wherever you're listening or watching it to it. Pass it along to your friends. If you enjoy it, that means the people that you rock with will enjoy it also. So share the wealth, share the knowledge, share the noise. And for all those people that say, well, I don't have a YouTube. If you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can actually watch our video podcast and YouTube exclusive content. But the real party is on our Patreon page, After Hours Uncensored and Talking Straight-ish. After Hours Uncensored is another show with my sister. And once again, the key word there is uncensored. Those are exclusively on our Patreon page. Jump onto our website at unsolicitedperspectives.com for all things us. That's where you can get all of our audio, video, our blogs, and even buy our merch. And if you're really feeling generous and want to help us out, you can donate on our donations page. Donations go strictly to improving our software and hardware so we can keep giving you guys good content that you can clearly listen to and that you can clearly see. So any donation would be appreciative. Most importantly, I want to say thank you for listening and watching and supporting us. And I'll catch you next time. Auntie 5000. Peace.
Cycle stays the same.